All right, so I started the recording here. We're going to see if we get on Facebook now. So what we're representing here is that sometimes virtual stuff does not work exactly the way you want it. And I'm going to see if I can get into our group now. All right. So funny, our first round, I was talking to my son. Oh, we're going on live. It says we're preparing. Let's see if it gets that next level. Still says we're preparing. I was talking to my son, and he was like, Mom, I'm still on the internet. And I said, son, get off the internet. He said, well, you need to call our technical person because we need more internet. I'm like, my 16-year-old, I'm like, son, get off the phone. Okay, so welcome into our second hour of, looks like we're going to get on fresh inspiration Thon. All right, let's see if it helps us go on live. I think it might happen. We'll see.
We're there. It's happening.
It's happening.
Yay, we did it. Okay, so we're all doing a thumbs up here because it's been an interesting morning with technology. So make sure that you grab the first 2 hours because I was holding my cell phone as we were talking, and it was fabulous because it all worked out. And I was telling everybody my 10 years in corporate and dealing with technology, just all of a sudden, all those deadlines and the stress, all of a sudden everything got quiet. And I used my experience and I said, I'm picking up the phone, I'm using the Facebook app. So we were able to get in our community. So Facebook we were able to serve, and we've been having people come in through the Zoom link also, so welcome in. I'm going to introduce you to people that you may have met through social media, maybe you've met them in person, but welcome into our second hour of the Fresh Inspiration-a-thon. This theme, we're calling it Creating New Opportunity Through Body, Mindset, and Awakening the Spirit. Oh, I learned so much this last hour from 9 to 10 from the experts. We had some great connection with people asking so many questions. And I have the Facebook page open also, so if anybody has any questions, we are here for you. This is ever-changing times that we're going through. Our life has shifted from 3 weeks ago to what is happening now, where everything all of a sudden, we're living a different life. Hi, my name is Rhonda Liebig, and I'm the founder of the Fresh Inspiration Show. You may have been able to have an opportunity to see us live. Well, this is our first Inspiration-a-thon, and I'm so happy to welcome in these 20 experts that we have today. Today, for this hour, 11 to 12 Pacific time, I want to introduce you to our experts, and we're going to get right into the show. The last 10 minutes, I'm going to open up space for any questions you have. So I have right now over here my Facebook page on the Fresh Inspiration Show, so then I can see if you have any questions. So either way, welcome in. Today we have Nicole D'Avila. She's health with yoga therapy and other essentials. You're going to get to know more about her as she's speaking in her expert space today. Nobody did preparation, but except just come and be, so that they could share what they're really seeing and the changes that are happening. And we're sharing tools today also. Dr. Beth Halbert, America's teenologist. Dr. Beth was with us also, as Nicole was this 2019 year, touring all Northern California. And well, it wasn't that big, but it was quite big. We did travel quite a bit, ladies, didn't we? And so you're going to be able to see them virtually, but I hope that you get out there to our live shows when we start going out there in the future. But welcome in, Dr. Beth. I know you're going to display a lot of the years you've been in as a therapist, but really holding that space for people who have teenagers, to teenagers that may be even coming on today. And it's about just how we show up in life. So that's your niche, but you really open up the space for a lot of insight. Denise Schad, thank you, Denise, for doing the first hour kickoff of the Mindset Transformation Entertainment. You really helped us lift our spirits and the happiness factor. And I already felt happy when I came in. I was very excited about being part of this group and putting this together, but I felt that lift. So thank you very much. But Denise is awakening your sensual energy to love. We're really connecting with the power and the expansion of love. And so Denise holds that space today. Beryl Ryan. Beryl Ryan is somebody that I got to connect with in a way that helped me understand how I could release certain things through tapping. So Beryl has taken me through a couple of sessions through her tapping, and it's been incredible for shifts in some abuse that I had in my background and being able to release it. So Beryl is an emotional freedom technique she uses through traumatic experiences, but that's her specialty. Kim Korick. Kim, what I love about you is that you're ever expanding in learning how you work in this type of atmosphere, and especially because we're all emotional and how the shifts are happening. And so I love that you are in that love space also with Planet Love Yourself. And Kim is an excellent one to tap into if you're having body pains. And anyway, I'm sorry, let me finish that sentence. If you're having body pains and you've been learning about patches. So that's an interesting thing that Kim has been getting involved in. So welcome in, ladies. Welcome in. Now, everybody that's speaking, Nicole, Dr. Beth, Denise Schad, Beryl Ryan, and Kim Quirk, you can keep yourself unmuted if you want to. It might be easier because we're going to do this symposium style. We're going to kick it off with me asking a question, and we're just going to keep rolling with it. If you have any questions, please give a little hands up, and we'll make sure we get to you. And this time of day, with what's happening, I like to hear those personal stories about how things are affecting you personally. I want to get to know you more in the areas of this newness over the past 3 weeks and just big changes in this world overall. How are things affecting you right now, and how are you showing up today? Share with us what that means. You can ask more questions if that didn't make enough sense to you.
I'm ready to answer that one, Rhonda.
You got it, Dr. Beth.
I feel like I have been born for this moment. And I put a post up, and I'm not alone. I loved that so many people have been in training emotionally, spiritually, physically, relationally, socially, and even in our businesses. We are dialed and styled and ready for this. So I'm feeling really in my power. I'm feeling so much love and just bringing it to everybody that's in fear and in crisis and having so much pain. So my goal is trying to be a bright, fun, shining light during this time.
I feel that, Dr. Beth. I feel like I've been able to smile even more in my business sense. In my relationships, I've been feeling a little like I've used some of my tools, make sure I'm grounded, make sure I'm showing up. But when it comes to really building and creating and making sure I'm listening to the people I'm working with, I feel like I feel so alive and vibrant. Anybody else want to add in or chime in opposite of that?
I can chime in a little bit on that. I'm not feeling the fear. I'm actually very excited, yet I still have been experiencing more of my own expansion in my mind. Like I've been able to see Oh, it was phenomenal. How I have been holding myself hostage in my own mind, meaning we know this and we talk about it all the time that our thoughts are creating our reality, and that we know that we are not our thoughts, but I was able to see the split, and that was phenomenal. It was like another layer of, wow, I am doing this to myself. I'm creating this. And it was just an aha moment. And I don't know if any of you know, but I live in a town with a population of 400 people. I live at the end of the road. I have no neighbors. And so I spend a lot of time by myself. So I'm having these aha moments because the universe is allowing me to see that. And I'm working with myself during this time. So it's phenomenal to have that kind of clarity because of the preparation to this point. As Dr. Beth was saying, we've been preparing for this. And I've been preparing to see what it has been that has been keeping me trapped. And I'm telling you, I was celebrating. It was like, oh my gosh, I can see the split in my own mind. Oh my God. But is that comfortable? No, it was heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking that for a couple of days, I was mourning. I was in grief. My heart was broken. And what I recognized is that I had broken my own heart by keeping myself trapped. And I had to come into my body and feel what that felt like, that pain of that heartbreak. And I've been an athlete my whole life, and I've felt pain. I've been in pain.
That is like the epiphany of opening up a platter. Catherine, I think you came in, and if you could mute yourself.
Okay.
Can you mute her? Can you mute her, Rhonda?
I'm working on it. Yeah.
So I have, and I teach my clients this. Can we come into our bodies, into that emotion, into the heart of it, and allow those feelings to be felt? That's the healing. And that's, I've been teaching this. And as I was going through this, I was going, this is what I've been telling my clients. This is what I've been telling my clients.
I think we're learning to be our best clients, aren't we?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, so this is.
I have one more thing to add. The pain doesn't last that long. That's it.
Beryl and Kim and Nicole, anybody else want to chime in on how you're showing up today?
Yeah, I would be happy to. First of all, I'm in that boat. I responded to Dr. Beth of really feeling I've been prepared for this moment. But I want to just pause and just say my heart goes out to all of you who are experiencing actually the COVID-19. So I have neighbors, people. So I just want to just pause and just send blessings and healing to all of you who are experiencing what's causing the fear among everybody else. So that, and I also want to just send my deepest gratitude to all the frontline workers. And what I'm learning is it's more than just the medical professionals who are the frontline workers. It's the Comcast people who are keeping our Wi-Fi's going and having to go into homes that they're not sure are safe. It's, I have one of my clients, she works for the IRS. Because she's a government employee in her position, she is on call to help set up a disaster relief center. She doesn't know when. That stress of being on call to go out there and be on the front line. So I just want to take a moment and just acknowledge those frontline people and the people who have been most immediately are already affected by that.
Thank you, Nicole. Yeah. Much appreciate that. How are you showing up today? How do you feel after you're sharing that with, I bet you're getting affected by just knowing these people too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I am waking up with so much energy. I am waking up with my purpose in front of me, front and center, and I'm waking up ready to serve, and I am just going. And every now and then, my heart chakra starts to feel tight. And that's I know when I'm absorbing in the negative energy, the fear. We need to feel if if we're feeling pain, if we're feeling these things, we need to let that be expressed. But when it starts to feel hard, it's that fear. We don't want it to be there. So I use my yoga tools, my essential oil tools to release that and to let it go so it doesn't tighten up during this time. And then I can move on. So it's making me up my game and play at my highest level. So everything, just like everybody's talking about, everything that I practice, not only, and everything that I preach, I need to practice it at a higher level. And I think, like as Denise was alluding to, we've known this all along, and we can look back and say like, oh, I could have been even more prepared. I could have been doing even more. Why did I do this kick in the pants to do it?
It's like we're learning to really truly be our best foot forward, because you were talking about your heart chakra. 3 days ago, I was having spasms, literally spasms, and I was on medicine for 20 years, like off of medicine. I was like, oh, that's the deepest I can go. I'm doing so awesome, the ego. And then 3 weeks ago, let's close everything up. Let's take, and then I was feeling these spasms because my heart that's the area. That's what it runs in my family, is the learning of how to keep that open. I feel deeper. And I love that you brought that up about what this truly is about, is that we're here, we're sharing the knowledge, we're going to share some tips, but let's give the love out there. And some of the times that we're talking, it may feel light because we're really in the flow of lifting. So I want to make sure, because earlier Katarina Randa was in the pod before, and she brought up that she's been at some virtual things. And hi, Katarina, thanks for coming back in. And the issue was that sometimes when you come into a community, you already feel the struggle. But then when you leave the community, if you don't feel better, or you feel even more sunk in, not in a very good way, you don't want to go back to that community. It's not a normal process you should be going through. Life needs to be lifted, and that's why we have Inspiration-a-thon today. Kim, I know you haven't had a chance to talk yet. I want to see how you're showing up and feeling it. And,
Hi, buddy.
And Beryl, you ought to talk too. Hi, Kim.
Hello there. I want to thank Rhonda.
My friend.
I want to thank Rhonda for inviting me to this panel of experts. And just the invitation in itself, what? Me, an expert? Her seeing that in me was really powerful. So that's the first thing I want to say. It's like, wow, stepping into that experthood that actually all of us have to some degree. Once we tap into our specialness, I might not be able to hone into like, oh, what is my gift and what is this and what is that? But we all have an area of expertise. And so I'm so grateful to Rhonda for the invitation and for the opportunity to step up. So, at the beginning of this, my big thing was like changing the world. No, it's more like changing my bed, like stepping up to change my bed. I felt very numbed, so numbed by the process of everything going on. And now that the week or two has passed, this idea of stepping into what my expertise is, and in that evolution about how that shows up, that's my healing for myself and also for the others. And so that's how I'm feeling now. just with my own personal journey, and learning more about being present and stepping out of the numbness and who I am in this moment. So it's a great opportunity.
I
Thank
love
you.
that you're feeling good today too. It is hard when we fall. When I had those, just emotionally, when I had those chest pains, I was wondering, you know, what's going to happen today? And these fears are natural, and we're here today to really speak as an expert of um, what are other ways you can look at things so that you can get the stuff done that you want to get done, and really step into that higher power.
Mm.
Beryl, what would you like to add, my friend?
Hi. So, hi everybody. So I'm in a
Hello.
very weird place in that I'm a nurse. I'm a hospice nurse, and I'm a tapping practitioner and living in the spiritual world with all this positivity about all this.
Yeah.
So I'm walking this fine line like hour by hour. The people at my office, the fear is incredibly high. The patients' homes we're going into is incredibly high, and yet they're on hospice and we need to go see them. I don't watch the news for myself. I think that's a really positive thing. But at the same time, I'm not watching the news. My company is sending emails constantly of how do we prepare and how do we show up, and do we need to go to other positions? Will our patients see us this week? And on and on and on. And so I'm listening to all the positive things I can. I also know that this is a time of transformation, that it's an incredible gift that we're receiving, and yet there's a lot of pain and sorrow in all of it. So I'm walking that line, and I'm walking it like minute by minute and hour by hour. So I'm so grateful for today to show up, to hear all these people. People are checking in with me because I'm one of the people that don't have enough PPE, in this whole world of medicine. And so it's a fascinating time to me. I know that I was put on this planet to be part of the huge change, and what I'm doing as far as keeping myself and everybody that I can around me is tapping with people for the fear. So I'm tapping with clients. I'm not tapping with patients because they've asked me not to yet, but I'm tapping with coworkers. And as I watch everybody just in a flurry all around me all day, washing hands 60,000 times and wiping desks and, all the fear, I'm just saying, let's just squeeze our fingers, let's just do a tapping round. Let's just take a breath. And then I step outside and I see spring and I'm like, oh my God, the world is still going on. Yeah. So anyway, I'm in a really interesting place, just walking that line between both things right now. I'm grateful I'm not in the hospital. I don't know if they're going to ask us to go into the hospital, but at this moment, it's just hospice care, and I don't have fear. There's no fear in me whatsoever. If I get sick, I get sick. If I die, I die. That stuff doesn't bother me, but just feeling the fear around me and trying to stay in that place where I can help people soothe is where I'm at.
Beryl, you are a life ball of energy to be able to be on that Western medicine side and really being fed a lot of truth, a lot of reality. Some of us that are in the more of the holistic arena, we get little tidbits of what's going on, because sometimes it's easier to be able to help clients lift themselves if we don't go in and listen to all this stuff. But you're hearing this stuff every day. And then you're going in and you're living your life. And we've all talked about feeling a little uncomfortable in how we're using these tools. I want to give a moment to share about the tools that you have and what you're using for yourself, for your clients, because this is the most important part right now, is to allow people to know that however you're feeling right now, there's always another level up. Even if you're feeling great, I want you to feel fabulous. So who wants to share one big cool tool that you're seeing is working, or maybe it's a combination? Anybody want to chime in with that?
Rhonda?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to piggyback on what Beryl was saying before I jump into the tool, if I may.
Yes.
I too am living moment to moment. Before it was like day to day, and now it's like what is coming up moment to moment, and being grounded and being connected. And so one of my tools is to live moment to moment, and to listen moment to moment, and to listen to guidance moment to moment. Sometimes it is to be of service, and show up and do a Facebook Live. And sometimes it is to go within and spend 2 hours sleeping, healing, meditating, doing my own work. A couple of mornings ago, I woke up before dance party, and I had this cough or something, and I was like, I don't want to go to dance party, and I'm the DJ. And I was like, well, what if I had two weeks to live? What if I do have this thing? What if I have it? And what I realized was there's nothing I would rather do. Nothing. No one I would rather be than who I'm getting to be right now on the planet. So my tip and tool would be to listen and to be exactly who you are. Live your life as if this was your last 2 weeks, because none of us know.
I love that, Dr. Beth. I think about how I used to carry so much anxiety, and anxiety is always looking in the future and expecting things to happen, or it's going to be this, or ho hum me, this is going to happen. And what I'm learning from what you said is that I feel like I'm able to live my best life when I focus on what's here and now, because that's where I get to see what's on the plate. And I always think as a health coach, like scrumptiously eat, that is fabulous and working. So even though I was getting those chest pains, like anytime I leaned forward, I could barely even get up. That's kind of what I was dealing with. But at that time still, I was feeling like, oh, the pain. But I was like, but I get to help others through this, and it's going to help lift that, because I'm going to see that there's tons of happiness bubbling up for everybody. Another tool that anybody wants to share with that, with what
I have one.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all heard about gratitude, and we need to practice that more. And what I say to people, because I know some people are just feeling so kind of low and down, or so wound up in fear, whatever they're feeling, I say, so I'm saying this now to everybody who's here, everybody who's watching this live or as a recording. You have something to be grateful for. You have the Fresh Inspiration Show. You are able to get online. You are able to deal with the technology that Rhonda had to deal with this morning, and we're grateful that she worked through it. So we are all here. So if you cannot think of anything else to be grateful for, be grateful that you're hearing these messages. And I just say, find anything. The sun is shining today. Whatever it is, you can find things to be grateful for. One of the things, huge thing that I'm super grateful for is living in Marin, where even though we're in shelter in place and have been for like 2 weeks now, we can go outside. I can walk to beautiful trails. And I encourage everybody to, even if it's just, if you're in a city or something, open your window. Whatever outside is for you. Open your window and have a plant next to you. Whatever it is, get that outdoors, fresh air, in a little yard, whatever it is, be outside and be grateful. And that can change everything.
I love that, Nicole. I start every morning with getting out for a walk, and that's not my exercise. That is my looking at the sky, knowing that I'm not alone, breathing the fresh air. I can hear the roosters, and whatever else comes, because then that helps me also the stableness, as I know this is gonna happen today. So it allows me to have that grounding by acknowledging the gratitude of having the regular stuff as we're getting rolled into some new stuff. And life is ever changing. This is just exponentially moving faster.
Rhonda, one thing about gratitude, can I? Mm-hmm. I put a gratitude post, and every single day for the last 2 weeks, I've had somebody add to that post. I've never had a post before that kept on going and kept on going and kept on going and kept on going. So it's been really fun. So I get to reread people's gratitudes, because I'm glad for my breath. It reminds me to breathe. So anyway, just giving something out that keeps giving it back as well.
I love that. Wonderful.
And Rhonda, I wanted to say, because for me, the physicalness of the tool that I use, which is tapping, really helps with fear without having to think about anything else. So I squeeze the sides of my fingernails, and I teach everybody that. And it just, you just squeeze the sides of your nails for about 3 seconds each, and they're acupressure points. And it just tells the amygdala that you're not actually being eaten, that it's okay to feel safe, you know? And I really like the physicalness, because sometimes people can't think of gratitude. I mean, I love gratitude. I use gratitude all the time. But sometimes you're like so in the, right?
Yeah.
But this is kind of a visceral thing where once you calm enough, then you can find the gratitude. Then you can find the blessings. Then you can find that. Sometimes it's just a visceral of chilling the body of the fear, so your brain actually has some blood to think about those other things as well, you know? So that's
Ooh,
my.
I just did. I touched all my fingers and I feel alive. Thank you, Beryl. Thank you, Dr. Beth. Thank you, Nicole. Anybody else want to be adding in before we transition? You just keep on adding in.
I would piggyback on with Nicole about getting out in nature, and really, you said the plant. You know, put a plant in front of your window. You know, I've been writing about this whole week about, you know, the trees and the plants are all consciousness. We can speak to the trees and the plants as a way to speak to spirit, right? And so my tool is about getting out in nature and getting connected to your environment, whatever that may be for you. Even if you are in a city, you can still go out and connect to the sky, the clouds, the grass, you know, anything. And I think this is about getting connected to Mother Earth. She's really yearning for us to be with her. And so a lot of people call it grounding. I like to call it connecting, because it seems just so much more tender and nurturing than grounding into the earth, right? So just take the time to connect to Mother Earth by visualizing that you are your favorite tree. And that favorite tree has a taproot. And that taproot is constantly drawing from Mother Earth, drawing the energy and that nurturing and that love and that compassion of Mother Earth to support you. So I encourage everyone to just take a moment and connect. Because we're talking about community. You know, we're here as a community, but also really connecting. If you're showing up in community and you're not connected to you, then you're not present with your community. You're just showing up. You're actually taking from the community at that point. Yes, I mean, nature, plants. I mean, if you can't be in nature, surround yourself with plants, most definitely. And just coming in and getting connected to the earth.
Denise, that is so new for me. I would say a couple of years ago, I finally got connected with talking to my plants. And I noticed a big difference. I have a plant in my office that keeps thriving, and sometimes I forget to wash her and give her water. And I go, why are you looking so beautiful? And I'm realizing, because there's lots of good stuff happening in here, I started acknowledging that. And I started acknowledging even my dog, Oliver, like everything is a living being, like energy. And now that I've even acknowledged my doggy as being my partner, I'm starting to notice anything and everything that grows or moves, that I'm finding that I'm speaking to it and I'm not feeling crazy like I used to. I'm fully open to it now. I'm like, no, this is the reality. So thank you for bringing that up. I've been loving your posts on Facebook. So everybody that you see here, you get to see their last names. Make sure that you are following all the experts. There's some great stuff coming out of this.
Real quick on that same point, I told my college students, you know, go to the store and buy a bouquet of flowers and have it in your room, have it in your apartment. And they're like, really? Yeah, that's a good idea. Get that bouquet of flowers if you can and pick them and bring them in. Something simple.
Yeah, I love the color.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add in? I can get to that next question, just making sure, just giving some space there. I'm learning so much listening to everybody. So you just chime in as your experts as you're going along. What I'm learning is where I want to go with this next question is, what's the biggest nugget that you're feeling and the people that you're working with, nugget that they're learning or that you're learning about yourself? What's that big bouquet that you're learning about at this moment, these quick, really fast transitionings that are happening?
For me, it's love over choosing relationship over righteousness. And with all the teens and the parents and the families, especially the parents that are going young with fear, worried about finances, worried about their own survival, worried. And the kids are not as worried. Some are, some aren't, but some of the kids are, you know, rolling their eyes and being rude and not wanting to be around their parents. The parents are wanting to connect and to mesh and glom on, and the kids are wanting to have space and like, get out of my face. And so my big thing has been choosing relationship over righteousness, even on all the posts. When some people are like, you're bad for doing what you're doing, or Trump is bad, or, you know, all the things that are coming up that's negative. What I'm trying to be a part of is bringing love to that pain, letting people be where they are, but also bringing love to the pain. Like when people are acting out, it's because they're in terror. When people are doing bad, mean, horrific things at the store, it's because they're scared to death. When we feel loved, when we feel filled up, we have nothing to give but love.
I feel that, Dr. Beth. You know what I've learned a lot from you is because I have teenagers. And that was when a lot of the stuff was happening in my life. And so I can remember specific aches and pains at the age of what Kirsten is right now, the specific pains of my 10th grader right now, my boy. And I can really see them. But what really helps, what I get to hear from you, is that usually teenagers are acting out because they're getting to know themselves as this growing being that's becoming more aware, and they're more pure. So if they're acting out, that means that they're having some type of struggle. So I've even started changing the way I discipline based on learning so much about what you do and how you talk about these are our next leaders. Let's stop.
Exactly.
Let's stop with the fear and pushing down and thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to jump into drugs because they're doing this. Or, oh my gosh, my boy is a skateboarder. And he's like, okay, well, that's why he's getting into trouble. It's like these judgments that we put on them, where I'm talking to my boy, Jacob, and I'm just saying, go out there and explore. Stay away from those drugs because that's where it's going to take all this beautifulness that you're feeling right now. I want you to go out there and adventure. And when I was his age, I was going to San Francisco and I was going dancing and 2 to 3 times a week. And I was living with my grandma at the time. My grandma was like, be home at midnight. And I was like,
Sure.
And I was home at 3 a.m., but I was not getting into trouble. It actually has built what I do right now. I can recognize myself because I didn't have a parent that said, hone, and do this and do that. So thank you, Dr. Beth, for that information. Who's next? Who wants to share?
So I can kind of go with that theme of love, Dr. Beth. I have a clients that I work one-on-one with, and each one of these clients they're leaders. They're spiritual leaders. They're light, and what they're starting to see is what that means to be. But in the process of being, the love piece comes in, and this is about loving your innermost being, you. And they look at me sometimes like, what do you mean? And I said, well, when you're present and you are in self-care, and self-care has a lot of different layers to it. Speaking your truth, asking for what you need, knowing what your desires are. All of that, your innermost being responds to that. It opens up. It's like you're listening, you're paying attention, listening. Again, that goes back to that connection piece where they're coming inward and really listening more to what it is that they desire and what they need. And that having them show up in this other state of being, of connectedness, not only to the earth, but to themselves. And I have a male client, my first male client, and he has been such an inspiration to watch him cultivate this self-love and this nurturing for himself. And as a male, he's nurturing his feminine side, the part of us that's showing up right now. And it's really beautiful to watch. So what I'm saying is I'm watching my clients come more into connection with their own truth. And then they're showing that and presenting themselves more and more authentically, which is in love. They're not hiding their love anymore. They're not hiding from themselves.
I do feel that, Denise, and you bring up a very good point, layering in with what Dr. Beth was saying, is it's the BE, just to be. And about 11, 12 years ago, I really thought closing your heart was perfect. Why cry? You're just showing your vulnerability. So please, anybody that's watching this live, this is really important to get into that heart and see how you can keep it open, because there's lots of more good stuff to happen. Over these past 12 years of running business, I know that life has gotten even better in being able to keep that word open, but also the word be. If you can think of that and breathe it in, it releases and opens up that whole system, the chakras, the endocrine system, if you're thinking more of just how our hormones work. So thank you for that, Denise. I know we have more to chime in. Who else wants to add in?
I will. Again, it's something I've been working with my students, my clients, my customers, and we just need it more now, is just taking them through. And then, and I feel it too every time I lead somebody, so it nourishes me as well, is just taking them through. I have a process of just, know that you are loved. Know that you are held. You are supported. You are cared for, and you are nurtured. Allow yourself to receive love, nurturing, care, support. Allow yourself to receive abundantly, because you are loved. You are supported. You are nurtured. You are cared for.
I have my hand over my heart. Anybody else? This is fun stuff. We're acknowledging the stress out there, and we're giving the layers of when you get those moments, the bite sizes of every angle, from gratitude, love, to recognizing that sometimes we don't feel good. Even as people who are talking right now as experts, who are sharing those tools, because the more that you say positive things, and this is what we know coming in today at the Inspiration Thon, is that we're all human. There's no judgment. I know that I'll be 90 years old if I'm still around on this earth, still learning, and there's no judgment when somebody says, do you want to do some tapping with me? Or do you want to do a meditation? And instead of saying, I'm already happy, don't tell me I need to be happier. It's like, you're bringing more happiness to my life. You're opening more of my heart. I'm in. Anybody else have something to add in? We can go into the next one, but I'm just making sure. We have about 6-7 minutes before we start taking questions. We have some great discussions going on here also. But what's the last thing you really want to add on here today of being able to, the stuff you've personally talked about, maybe putting a bow on it, of what you see in the future as we're going along in the healing part of it. So I want you to get in that deep spiritual space and chime in. How are you feeling about the future and what's moving forward?
Rhonda, I'll talk. I love what Dr. Beth said, which is, let's just act like this is our last 2 weeks, because we never know whether the coronavirus is here or not. Really, life is limited. And I love the idea of just, my friend and I once, when we were teenagers, we got high. Well, yes, we were high. And we just said, what if today was our last day on earth? What would we want? How would we want to feel, right? And so I just try to do that in general. Like, we have no idea what life is going to look like when this is over. Nobody knows. And so the fact is, if I'm going to be gone tomorrow or in 40 years, I want to be in joy. I just want to be in joy. So I think that's the most important thing, is that we use any and every tool that there is, because joy is our natural state. And when we get rid of the gunk, then joy is our place. And so, I just keep saying, if, I catch this and I'm gone, well, I don't want to have spent the last week or day or hours or years in fear. That'd be horrible.
Right.
So
What?
yeah. So that to me is just, there's nothing more important than that I feel good. And all these tools are just so helpful to get to that state.
I love that. One of the ways I do that is through my dance party every morning, where I am connecting with so many people that I absolutely love and adore. And we really lift each other up. So we have movement, we have business support, we have relationship support, we have prayers, we have connection. And I call it, I have a new name for it. It's my inner teen dance party. So and I have one rule, and that is to welcome everybody like they're a rock star. And that's how I'm inviting all of us to do life right now, is to welcome each other into how can we make each other and help each other and double dog dare each other to shine. And I'm actually getting ready to start a double dog dare shine for parents and all the kids that are stuck at home or feel like they're stuck at home, and turn that into game and fun. So again, it's about love and light, and as Beryl said, joy, and let's be hopeful of what could be happening next.
I am all into game and fun. What do you want to add in, my friend? Anything you want to add in, Kim?
Oh, I was just thinking about the double dog dare. I love it. I love all of what you guys are saying, and each person has such a beautiful share on what they are doing. And I'm thinking about something I've heard many times. It's like, in this era is a very special time of deep spirituality, and so many spiritual gifts are coming forward, and that we have access to all these spiritual gifts during this very special time. And so as we move forward in these times of uncertainty, I'm really thinking about that we've been so helped in accessing our spiritual gifts so that we might share them. And I love to hear everyone's individual share and how unique and perfect it is. And I love the double dog dare. And I believe I've been double dog dared to do what I'm on this planet to do. So watch out.
Absolutely. Throw down the mic. Go, Kim. I double dog dare you to shine your brightest light.
That's right. I double dog dare you. So, whatever that looks like. And that we've been groomed all along, probably all of our lifetimes, for this moment in time, because this is a very, very special moment in time. And that we would not be given these times of uncertainty. And, who knows what's going to be in our future? I can probably guarantee you that it's going to be very different, but that we've been groomed and that we have the gifts to counter it. And not only counter it, but rise above. And I even get goosebumps as I say that, that we've been given everything that we need.
Yeah.
And that all the unbelievable things that people have been talking about, that we've all heard before, but it's the applying of it in these special times, the being in the moment, and the, being in the nature, everything, all of that I call applied spirituality. It's like, yeah, during these times to actually do it. And so I'm just so grateful to be in this group. And anyway, so I double dog dare you to do everything and then some.
I accept.
Yeah, exactly. And Kim, I love that you are seeing that you are stepping in as a leader, because we're all leaders, and for you to really speak up about getting deeper into the spiritual space, being in truth, is what every day can look like moving forward. What I'm seeing is that all this rawness is perfect and divine. The raw feeling when we make changes is going off that path that we could physically see. We think we're going to go here and it's straightforward. And then when you start opening yourself up in that spiritual space, and you know what you want to get done for the day, you know what you want to get done for life, or you don't know, and you allow it to be. So now your day becomes more of, oh, I feel vulnerable. But then there's those moments where you go, hey, I'm going to the left. I thought I was going to go straight. Oh my gosh. Now I've met all these people. Now I have this great community, wherever it goes. But to be open to that, to know that whatever word you want to use, divine, heart, to be, to look at your teenagers, what Dr. Beth talked about, double dare dogging yourself. Nicole, giving a moment, almost like a meditation. Nicole, I do want to share, you got some people that really got moved by that. But giving yourself the opportunity to believe that you are here for a purpose, not a task list. Get those tasks done. I mean, it moves life, but that's what makes it exciting. Get all those things done, and things that give energy, not things that drag you down. When you feel like you have a day where you are feeling like, oh, life is so ugly and life is this and that, take a step back. Use these tips that you've been hearing at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, now this 11 o'clock hour, the stuff we're going to be talking about in the future today. Use these tools. Believe in them. Whatever works for you. We have all these different experts that have come together, and I know you've probably connected with more than just one. So make sure that you are allowing yourself to work your social media so you can connect with people. Make sure that you have come in and you've gotten your expert guide. If you don't know what this is, just send me a message and tell me you did not receive this. But this is everybody that you're seeing. Pretty much everybody put their top 3 kits and tips in here. And I want to open up the area, and Dr. Beth, I did see that message. I want to open up the area right now for you to ask questions, but I'm going to introduce anything that I've seen coming along and on Facebook, so I want to make sure that I get that. And I'm just making sure everybody's muted. If you're not talking now, we're just going to mute, even the experts, so we can get real clean. And let me go through what we've seen here. And if you're on Zoom, you're going to be asking your questions. We're going to open up to any expert that you heard today. But Laura says, thank you for inspiring messages. Laura was here a little bit earlier as an expert. We're rising above, Laura says, one moment at a time. Now, Danae, I hope
Laura.
And then Danae, Danae is connected with you, so I hope I'm saying the name right. You gals are an inspiration. Thank you for this. And I'm opening it up because we have tons of comments, you guys. Jackie is saying that she's just so happy that we are here and shining. She loves what Denise is sharing. Nicole, Donna Schreiner was saying that you brought a tear to her eye. So keep bringing those comments in. Anybody else? Comments on Facebook?
I also felt that way, Nicole. When you did your thing, it felt so strong, powerful, and penetrating. More.
Mm-hmm. It's those 30 plus years of that yoga meditation just was like, dial me in, mama.
Well, it's not, at that point, it's not me. When you're feeling that, you're not feeling me. I get out of the way.
Exactly.
Okay, does everybody else feel that too? Isn't that truth? You leaders out there, which is everybody I'm talking to. Melody, do you have any questions? And do you have any questions? Sabina, I know you were an expert here earlier, but do you have any questions? Sherry, you too. I mean, Lawana and Katarina, chime in. Anybody want to add more? I'm opening the space right now. Jackie said, I love this community. So grateful. Jackie, I really appreciate your support. Lawana, looks like you unmuted, my friend. What would you like to share?
I hadn't meant for you guys to see me because I'm not dressed.
You look beautiful.
Sorry.
You look beautiful, and we love your face.
I've been enjoying listening to everything the ladies have said, and I agree. I don't remember her name now, but the one who said we should live as if we only have 2 weeks left because we don't know. I don't know if you had heard about my nephew, but he was one of those virus people, and he passed away yesterday. And he's a young man, you know.
Was he
So
in
you
his
don't
30s?
know what tomorrow is going to bring.
Yeah, he's in his 30s. Was it 30s, 40s?
He was in his 40s. He was
40s.
just under my son's age.
Luana, we're here lifting you and sending you tons of love, my friend.
Thank you. People have been really kind. But what I've been doing with my time off is just trying to one is write, and which is something I enjoy doing. And I started my blog back up. So
you are, and Luana's been at the Fresh Inspiration Ranch quite a few times during the retreats I have, but also having her own day here. Just a powerhouse, so make sure you're following her on Facebook too.
You always say such kind words.
You know, I see you're a superstar, Mama. You know you're all about sexiness.
Yes, well, thank you so much. And ladies, keep up the good work. I'm enjoying it. Katarina, thank you for your comments. I saw it.
And Kim and Luana, I want you to make sure that you get an opportunity to speak. I love the things that both of you are doing. And if you want to know more why I think you should connect, I'll make sure I get you there. Katarina, did you want to add something?
I'm going to go back on mute because I do have my country music playing and I'm not turning it off.
I appreciate what Dr. Beth was saying about we're born for this. I don't actually feel that I'm born for this, but I do feel that I have value to bring in this situation, which I would say is everyone on this call, and Rhonda demonstrated by you today very much, and by all the speakers. And I'm also noticing now, I'm 55 now, and I'm noticing the difference between at this age with my experience and skill and wisdom and self-awareness that Eden talked about earlier, that my capacity to step up and step out and be of service in this time is way easier. It's not scary. There's no anxiousness. Unlike perhaps years ago, well, not perhaps, unlike years ago when stepping up and stepping out, I was much more hesitant to do that, to be in this,
and it's not like to be a leader, and it's not like anybody appointed me. It's not like anybody asked me. It's just, okay, this is the situation. I'm going to step up. And that's really an interesting thing to notice.
Own it.
To notice that I don't need anybody's permission. I get to do it myself. And I think that's awesome. And I know, and I want more women to do that also. Turn off my video in case it was getting wonky. So that, is everybody following me on that? It's like, no permission needed, you know?
Own it, own it, own it.
Bing, bing, yes.
Well, so Donna Schreiner said, I so appreciate everyone on the Inspiration-a-thon. Donna, you'll see her at the retreats here, and she's also coming into her own as a health coach. Laura says, what is your blog so we can follow? So Lawana, make sure you unmute yourself, share what your blog is before we get into some more questions, but somebody's really wanting to know more about what you're doing. And Laura also said, I'm so sorry for your loss. And yes, I feel it too. I'm united with each one of you. It does feel like that. I do love having these live events. I do. Thank you. Thank you for adding that in. Next person, I will open it. There you are. What would you like to say, Melody?
So I can really relate to the speaker that was talking about the painful heart area. And I've been working with Denise for a while, and it's been such a journey. And I happen to be in a situation where I have the time right now to isolate and meditate and run energy. And I couldn't figure out why I was having this chest pain for probably about the last 3 or 4 days. So I'm really happy to hear about that, because I knew it was energy with the heaviness that was happening and the sorrow I was feeling. And I just kept trying to run that and process that and release that. And Denise has helped me a lot with that. But that pain, I started thinking, what am I eating? Like, why am I having this horrible, and tearful moments, which I expected with all the work I'm doing, but that I'm really happy to hear that, because I was thinking, okay, what's going on here? And also I wanted to say how appreciative I am that this group is coming together, because I'm having that sensation of I'm on the edge of making a huge leap into this realm, this area. And I was there many years ago and sort of shut it down. And so it's all starting to come back, and there's a lot of excitement with it and a lot of good feelings coming in. The more I release, the more I get back, all the stuff we've been talking about. So it's really been good.
Melody, and another thing that's really good about waking up that heart is it does scare you a bit. I was like, am I having a heart attack?
Oh, yeah. I was like, what's happening?
What happened? Do I need to go back on medicine? The whole thing is not working. What's happening? So I love that Denise was able to bring in that calm, and being part of community, we get to share that. Oh yeah, I'm feeling that. Oh yeah, this is the way it is. And I even noticed my first chakra, my hips, like all of a sudden just things were just opening up, and I was like, and that's when all of a sudden my heart chakra opened up. It was the same day, and I'm like, my body is opening up. And to be able to learn from everybody, we all came in, yes, Dr. Beth, we all came in at different spiritual spaces and in different ways, but to be able to hear those layers, then you can bring on your tools of what you want. So Melody, I hope you got some great tools. Dr. Beth, you wanted to add in?
I was just going to confirm, I'm in a light workers group of thousands and thousands and thousands, and there was a post about the heart. And that is, somebody said, is anybody else feeling this? And lots of people said. So I think it's a common thing that is happening right now in the expansion.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, because sometimes we want to close our heart because it's like, well, everything come in, bring yourself down below. That's what the toilet paper represents of what's going on. Is that it feels like it feels like it's doomsday. But when you bring on this community that we're bringing together today, you get relief, and you realize, you're right, there's more truth than what I see maybe right in front of me now. So please bring in the tools that you've been hearing through the day. And if anybody wants to add any more, we'll be back in with the next expert pod at 1 o'clock. We have a lunch break, which is fabulous. I kind of set it up as a lunch time break. If you didn't get this is from everybody you're hearing from. And if you're one of the experts, you didn't get it added in, don't worry, add it in and we'll get it there. But it's a guide, and we're up to many pages of tools that you can use right here and now. And the way to connect with all the experts is divine. At 1 o'clock, we're going to talk about bring the frequency to here and now, manifesting personal relationships. And we're going to talk a little bit about business, because we've been talking about how we are concerned, and we're going to give some nuggets around that. So we're reawakening energy at 1 with Amanda Rawls, Tanya Tyus Parker, and Catherine Brewer. Anybody else have stuff to add on as we are venturing out for this hour of rest?
I do, Rhonda. And back to your connection with the root chakra, which represents our legs, and movement, the hips, that there is a strong connection between that first chakra and our fourth chakra. Those of you who don't know about chakras, they're energy centers in our body. And the root chakra represents life, represents also our fear of death. And so a lot of us are confronting that. And that's a lot of also what's happening with the throat chakra, or the heart chakra tightening up, is we're confronting the possibility of our own mortality, of those we love, or even just seeing it happening to so many people around the world, that's being impacted as well. So one of the things that probably that can happen for us to release that root chakra is to release that fear of death. And that release of fear of death is a lot of what Beryl was talking about. It doesn't mean that like all of a sudden it's like, okay, so I know I'm going to survive and I'm going to get through this, which is kind of so nice. I'm going to survive. I'm going to get through this no matter what. Actually tenses it up. But just be in the moment. Like, I mean, everybody's been saying, be here now, be in this moment so that we can get through it. And once we let that go, then that releases. And so a lot of, I think like what this hour, part of what you wanted us to talk about was that mind-body connection. So if we move, breathe, center, that's my like mantra, move, breathe, center, it helps that first chakra energy start to flow so that we can then start to feel grounded, as Denise is saying, being in that nature and being connected, and all these things happen. So we need to stand back. We see the macro picture. We will get through this one way or another. And when we come out the other side, not only personally can we be more personally evolved and at a higher frequency energy person, but literally our communities, the whole world is shifting in a painful way. But we're going to come out of this together, and we're going to come out of it. It's going to be a much more positive time. Part of what will help us do that is just our simple day-to-day habits. Thank you, Rhonda, for bringing us together to share a lot of what can we do now.
If you are again, CDC thanks you for.
And Rhonda, the one thing that I would say is the next generation, the kids, the young adults, they have guidance if we will listen, and it won't look like our way. It won't look like the boomers. It won't look like the structures. It's a whole new way. So we really want to listen to the children and let them shine.
Oh, Dr. Beth, I love that. Love it. Donna Schreiner said, what a beautiful community. So make sure you're looking at yourself in the mirror. In our first hour, we were, Eden Gold said, get naked. Get naked. Get with yourself. And it made me laugh because I love talking about that stuff, but it's true. Start looking in the mirror, telling yourself you love yourself. And it might be achy at first because it might be new for you, but this is what the community is about, is connecting in spirit, knowing that your physicality is because your experiences. So how do you want it to look? Bring in that good nature. We talked about chakras. We talked about Melody, talked about, what have I been eating? Why is my heart hurting? We went through these whole experiences, Katerina talking about community and how important that is to really start seeing yourself. And I love, Kim, with your vulnerability and sharing how you are stepping into this leadership, and we all are, my friends. So this is your opportunity to just love on yourself and say, heck yeah, I'm a leader. So thank you for coming. I'll see you at 1 o'clock Pacific time in about 45 minutes. Come back because we've got some more fun. We have a couple more expert pods and we're going to be playing big.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you.